Year 7, Macbeth. It's the independent day. Yes, Wednesday, independent work. I'm going to give you a review of Lady Macbeth, and we are going to summarize how she's behaved throughout. By the way, I really can't get out of the habit of mistaking Lady Macbeth for Lady Macduff, so apologies for the hesitation. It just isn't going away. Epithet, then, what does that mean? Epithet, you may remember it means a descriptive label. How has Macbeth earned the epithet tyrant? I leave that to you. I helped you with the definition. So, in what way has Macbeth earned the epithet of tyrant? That is one of the epithets Macduff used a couple of scenes ago. And mar, do you remember what to mar means? If you need more time, pause the video. And what behaviours showed Lady Macbeth's mental health has been marred? So, what were her symptoms in the last lesson? How was she behaving? There was something she did with paper. There was something she did with her hands. So, but what were those things? And what is one epithet you'd give to Macduff, the character who is in England trying to recruit Malcolm to return to take the throne that rightfully belongs to him? Today we are going to look to evaluate Lady Macbeth's character development in the scenes and the play as a whole, should we say. So I'm going to show you some quotations shortly, really cover all the acts she's witnessed. You can set out your work in two ways. Either this table will need a few words or phrases that describe her behavior in Act 1, Act 2, 3, 4, and 5. Actually, only up to Act 4. So yes, we have seen her in Act 5. And let's look at some quotations. So she said last time, "Out, damn spot out," I say, referring to the blood on her hands. You'll remember that she returned to the sleeping guards to hide the daggers. She mentioned a soldier and a feared. You, Macbeth, shouldn't be afraid, she said. Go back and replace the daggers. The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? Well, she has found out that Lady Macduff has disappeared. She may know that she's been murdered, and she suspects Macbeth has killed more people than he needs to. You mar with all this starting. This is the embarrassing dinner where Macbeth saw Banquo's ghost, and she had to explain away the Macbeth's hallucination. Wash your hands, put on your nightgown. This is where Lady Macbeth, there you go, my mistake. Lady Macbeth instructed Macbeth to pretend they had been asleep all night. Banquo's buried, of course. She finds out, she tries to reassure Macbeth that Banquo can't be alive. She was upset by the knocking, so she refers to that on the night of the murder. And what's done cannot be undone. She tries to reassure Macbeth that they shouldn't really dwell on what they can't change. So let me give you a summary of how Lady Macbeth has behaved throughout the play. So join me on a quick tour through Macbeth. Now I'm going to leap out of the PowerPoint. I'm going to leap over to a different app. This is, I think, Internet Explorer. Leap back out of it by accident and then leap back in. There we are. Okay. So you should see Macbeth here on screen. I'm going to help you find out how she is in Act 1. We're going to look at the first time we see her, which is scene 5. This is where, do you remember what she's reading in scene 5, Act 1? Anyone? What's this? She's reading a letter from Macbeth. And how does she respond? Does anyone remember? The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. So how we come, you spirits, unsex me, give me this manly aggression, let me murder the king. How would we describe her then? What words and phrases would we use? Murderous, vicious, strange. Let me jump back out of PowerPoint and keep you waiting for a moment and jump over now to Word, I think. So I think you should see this. Act 1, we type ambitious, excited, sinister, perhaps. So then we type Act 2. I won't bother to enlarge it because it's a fiddle. And what are we going to say for Act 2? This is the next time we see her then. We next meet Lady Macbeth. Does anyone remember? Do you remember? Think about it. While I try and find Act 2. We next meet Act 2, her in Act 2, Scene 2. So there we are. If we fail, what if we fail? If we fail, you screw your courage to the sticking place. When Duncan is asleep, do these deceitful things that I'm going to instruct you. I drugged the guards. So what would we say for Act 2, Scene 2? Calculating, perhaps? What words are we going to add here? Calculating. But I'd like 3 adjectives if I spell calculating correctly. Well, I'll leave that to you. I think so. Okay, and then carry on for Act 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let me help you with Act 2, 3, 4, and 5. Find a few quotations that you could use. I won't be going back to Word because it's just going to delay you. We next see her in Act 2, Scene 3. That was made them drunk has made me bold. That's actually Act 2, Scene 2. She's also in Act 2, Scene 3, I think. Discover the murder. Whoa, surely not murder in our house. No, we're here to look after the king. What adjectives could we say? Deceitful, perhaps. Act 3, then, we see her next in Act 3, twice in Act 3. Act 3.2. Act 3.2. Murder has taken place. Naught's had all spent. Remember from the summary, without his eyes gone, without content. Those summaries might help you actually if you've forgotten. But she is frustrated here that they spent so much effort. And then she said, "You must leave this, Macbeth. Don't sneak over your rugged looks. Don't think about it." So has happened in the past. What's done is done, she says. Act 3, Scene 4 is the next time we see her. Lady Macbeth is trying to put on a polite face at the dinner, despite the presence of the murderers. Macbeth's freak out or his hallucination. She says, "Sit, worthy friends," reassures them that the court is actually led by a secure ruler, mentally sound ruler. And unfortunately, she becomes overwhelmed, and in Act 5, Scene 1, I think you watched a couple of days ago, she is disturbed. So that's Lady Macduff, she's still alive. Act 5, where's Act 5? Worth waiting for because he means you don't have to look for this yourself. Wash your hands, put in your night down, look not so pale. I tell you again, Banquo is buried, he cannot come out of the grave. She's attended by the doctor and the gentlewoman. She is sleepwalking, talking to herself, writing letters, and so on. So what adjectives will you use to describe her? Let's go back over to PowerPoint. Bearing that review in mind, all of those quotations. He summarized Lady Macbeth's character development as set it out in list form or in the form I showed you at the beginning of the lesson, this table here. So how has Lady Macbeth changed over the course of the play? Look forward to hearing your thoughts. Bye for now.